Control your appetite, control your cravings, controls your budget, gives you money to travel. Hey, quick video here. It always frustrates me when people tell me they don't have time or they can't to eat healthier, or they can't afford to travel. So here's some quick tips that, because I used to be that way, I used to say that shit. Here's some quick tips, or a quick tip of a mindset, a change of perspective of how I could afford to travel and I had made the time to eat healthier. It was just easy. And so now, seeing how easy it is, I really am pissed at myself for being so, confrontational to the idea. Ideas, don't be confrontational to ideas. It wasn't worth my time, it's not worth yours. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If not, punch out and have a great day. Hey, how's it going? Hopefully I can do this without burning myself and causing any problems, but I wanted to have a conversation. Jeff, Not Dead Yet Adventures. I want to have a quick conversation about food and budgets and being on the road. So I was talking with somebody a while back, a couple days ago actually. We were talking about food as I make probably the most unhealthy choice. I used to get this at Costco like years ago, this coconut coffee, and I loved it. And I saw it at the store on clearance, and I bought it. And I think the first ingredient is sugar. So, but this is just kind of a treat. I'm sitting down for an afternoon snack, and the whole idea of budgets and food came to mind. So I thought I'd have a little conversation about it. I got some deviled eggs I made. So I made some deviled eggs, and how this why this is important to me or you or anybody that might listen. Part of traveling abroad was learning to control my diet, learning to control my budget. It's one and the same, because when you take out all your core, like when you're looking at your budget, you have your core spending that you have to do. And the most flexibility I've found in any of my line items for my budget is food and activities, right? So activities is easy for me. I can just go do whatever. I'm pretty happy just being me, just going for a walk, looking at parks, meeting people, a coffee. I'm pretty happy on a super low budget. In fact, there were places where was a lot of really touristy things to do, and I didn't even bother because I was enjoying the rest of the island so much. It's like, why bother spending the money? I just didn't see it. But budgets and food is really where you can save a ton of money. And it's interesting to me, like being back in America and spending time with friends and other people, and staying in some houses with other people, just seeing how much money they're spending on food and processed food and stuff. And so for me, like one of the keys to get healthier when I started this, before I even started traveling, is I sold the microwave. No microwave, just gone, boom. And then I started paying attention to what I was buying, because I went and bought a bag of chips the other day and a jar of salsa, and I killed it, right? I'll still enjoy things. I'll still go buy a piece of cheesecake or a fruit tart. I love those fruit tarts, no matter where I'm at in the world. From Thailand to Sweden, I found fruit tarts and I love them. But I don't buy them, bring them home. I don't buy a dozen and bring them home. I don't put ice cream in the freezer at home. If I'm staying in an Airbnb, I don't, stockpile. The only things I will buy in bulk are eggs, meat, and vegetables. I don't buy in bulk. Like I'll buy some peppers sometimes, or some frozen veggies, like in a package. But typically if I'm buying vegetables, I'm buying them to eat that day or the next day, or maybe 3 days out. But the only thing I'll buy in bulk is meat and eggs. So like I got hungry today and I'm chilling, and I'm like, okay, well, what do I have to snack on? Nothing. Got nothing to snack on. If you look at the food I have in this house, I've got some cheese in the freezer that I usually use for scrambles and stuff, hard cheddar cheese. I've got a bunch of meat in the freezer, and I've got, you know, the remnants of 5 dozen eggs, half of which are boiled. So boiled eggs, you know, you can eat them a lot of ways, but I have to sit and make like I made deviled eggs, right? Super easy. I don't know about healthy, but easy. But I don't have that easy processed snackable food around, and it saves a ton of money. So you get the cost on this deviled egg. I mean, I can't remember the cost of eggs now, but you know, even if the egg is $1, you know, I used some avocado mayonnaise, so that was pretty expensive. I was just stunned. It was like $10 a jar, but I can get probably 30 servings out of that jar. 30 like servings like this, not servings like that. So, you know, it's still the cost of this is pennies. And I had a splurge the other day. I went to Wiener Schnitzel. I loved Wiener Schnitzel as a kid, and every time I see one, you know, kind of urged to go back and try it. And actually, this one was probably the best I've had in 10 years, 20 years. But it was $13 for one corn dog, one chili cheese dog, one small fry, one small soda. It was $13.50. This is going to cost me like $3 max. And I think we can all agree that this is way healthier than a chili cheese dog and a corn dog from Wiener Schnitzel with a side of fries cooked in that nasty oil, right? But when I'm on the road, this is where like my OCD about budgeting, when I was trying to learn to travel and spend money that I didn't have by, you know, cutting it from other places. This is where it really exploded. When I got on the road, what's the easiest thing to find? Boiled eggs, right? You can go find eggs anywhere in the world and get them boiled. Shit, in Japan, you can buy a little baggie of quail eggs, already pre-boiled in water or soy sauce. I like the ones in water better. But you just buy them at 7-Eleven and you snack on them. And it's just great. But for me, the key is don't buy shit to put in the shelves. Like, yeah, if you want to stockpile some rice and some grains and some food, great. But as a consumer, as a traveler, like the only thing I'm really buying to put in the shelf at an Airbnb or something is seasoning, meat, you know, and if I want bread, I'll buy bread for that day and I'll get it fresh baked. Even in America, you can go to Safeway and get fresh baked bread. Winco has these little sourdough rounds that are great. So yeah, I mean, that's what I got. All these little skills that you practice and learn before you travel really make a difference. But getting healthier, I gotta tell you, like, you know, don't be buying the bags of chips. Don't be buying the, you know, boxes of processed food. You know, Hot Pockets. I saw somebody at the store, they grabbed like 4 boxes of Hot Pockets, like 10 or 12 each. And I'm just like, holy smokes. You know, and I understand being there, but I also understand that, you know, you can cook fast, simple, quick. Like if I need a quick meal, scrambled eggs, boom, 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 a little bit of cheese, a little bit of frozen peppers, 2 eggs, boom, done. And just having that ability to eat that same food and change it up a little bit. Like the more I talk right now, the more I'm thinking about doing a thing on deviled eggs, because there's a lot of variations I'll do to a deviled egg. And so it offers a lot of flexibility. It doesn't taste like the same thing every time. It doesn't get monotonous. I mean, it does a little bit, like if you're eating deviled eggs, you know, every day for, you know, 6 months. Yeah, okay, I could see that. But the slightest little bit of change of ingredients totally changes the flavor profile. You can even change the texture a lot of ways. So find something simple, find something you like. But if you're really trying to get healthier and, you know, save money, spend the money on high quality protein, fish, chicken, meat. Eat that first, then eat your vegetables, then eat your starches if you must. Like, you know, I'm so happy I got out of Japan because I was eating so much rice because it was everywhere and it was always, I mean, rice is like candy. I was saying rice is like candy before the phone cut off there. I really love that coconut coffee, but it is a once or twice a week treat until it's gone, and then I'll be done. So my whole point of the video, I got to rewatch it and reassess what I was saying. So the whole point that I was trying to make is by controlling my diet and controlling my, appetite through eating things that satiate me, proteins, right? It allowed me to save a ton of money by not falling into that urge of this or that, and learning that, a little bit of salt and water a lot of times is all I need. I don't need to be satiated. I've been craving chips the last 6 months, and I've really I came to learn because I started thinking about it, like, why am I constantly craving chips? Well, one of them, they're addictive, and two is I wanted the salt. So what I do is I take a little jar. In fact, I got this little jar at the Hilton Warsaw City, I think, and it was Christmas time, 2023. I got this jar, and I put a little bit of salt in there. There's some pink Himalayan in there, and what I'll do is I'll just take it, and oops, it's full right now. I just filled it, but I'll take it and I'll just dip the tip of my tongue in there, drink some water, and a lot of times that satiates me right there. I stop craving chips. I stop craving other things, but learning all these tips and tricks takes time, right? And it takes time to practice them and implement them. And it all went back to me deciding I wanted to travel, I wanted to get healthier, and I wanted to live longer. So getting rid of the microwave, getting rid of the easily accessible food. If I want food, I have to cook it. And it's an easy thing to do. And I had somebody, telling me this and that. I'm like, look, anybody over the age of 10 basically can cook some eggs or cook some meat, or, I just burned through a thing of hamburger patties from Costco because I wanted to save some money, and they're quick and they're easy. It's not the best meat, but it was quick and easy, and hopefully I'll source some better quality ground hamburger, make my own patties, and freeze them so I can add a little more flavor to them, right? But it's easy to cook quick meals based on protein. There's a video, I think I still have it, but ended up being like 40 minutes. I was in Poland, and I walk in, and this guy was making hamburger right there, and the smell of it was just so yummy, which sounds funny, right? But I bought all the hamburger he made right there and there. It was like 2 pounds or something. But I made, I think it was 1.2 kilos, 1.4 kilos, I don't remember. But I made these meatballs because I was gonna make soup that night, right? It was a little cold and I was starving. So when I'm really, really hungry, what I'll do is I'll make a soup, like a broth-based soup. So anyway, I made these little meatballs, rubbed some seasoning into the hamburger, made these meatballs. I froze it all in little meatballs, and I just drop it in the soup, right? I'd fry it up a little bit and then drop them in the soup and, make meatball soup. But my point is, it was quick, easy, but it wasn't like snackable food. So when you have to cook your food or prepare it, it takes that whole, I'm hungry snack, craving away for me. And it got me to where I wasn't dependent. Eventually progressed, or I wasn't dependent on always having food handy. And I stopped getting hangry because I switched out of that. Like, if you listen to some of these people, I'm looking at my computer here, but if you switch out, if you listen to some of these people about on the YouTube and stuff about diets, they talk about like being a sugar burner, a protein burner, a ketone burner, I don't know, all that stuff, right? But majority of my calories started coming from proteins and fats instead of carbohydrates and sugars. And, I stopped the Gatorades, I stopped all that stuff. And so I stopped getting hangry. It was really like amazing. I mean, I used to not leave the house without some sort of snack, because if I started getting, a little bit of pain here, a little bit of pain there, and I'm getting hungry, it's like, I could just feel the tenseness growing, right? And it made it uncomfortable to travel, right? So I always had a snack or something in my pocket, and it was embarrassing, I'd duck out and go shove something in my mouth, right? It's super embarrassing. But by changing my diet to eating things like eggs or protein or whatever, I don't get hangry. And, learning to intermittent fast, like I went the other day, I got really hungry. It was like 28 hours, I started going, okay, I need to eat. And I started getting a little hangry after, it was either 28 or 30 hours. I started to really like, okay, I need to eat now. And, we found some street tacos that were just great. But, I'm not running through the airport like desperate to get some food before I get on the plane. I'm running through the airport like, that doesn't look good. Pass. That looks pretty good. I want to try that. And so now, for me, when I'm out and about, the majority of the time when I spend money on food that's, out, like, I don't know how to say it, but food is a luxury or something to taste or an experience. If I'm eating to eat, it's simple, right? Give me some protein. And, it's simple. But a lot of times, when I'm out and about or traveling or walking down the street, I'll stop and admire stuff, but I don't need to buy it anymore, right? I only spend the money on things I want to try or if I want a treat. And I don't see any problem with that, but it put a lot of money back in my pocket to do other things. Not wasting money at the store, put a lot of money back in my pocket to do other things. Like if I look at all the food I bought here, the majority of the food I bought, like I'm looking across at the counter over there, I got garlic salt, rosemary, oregano, some other spices. Like I got like a half dozen spices. I got some olive oil in the cupboard. I got meat in the freezer. I got coffee. I got some drink mix and some tea. Oh, I did buy. So that's the majority of what I've spent money on, right? So like I said, I did buy a bag of chips and a jar of salsa the other day, and I did get some chocolate milk, right? So, but those are treats, right? Those aren't really meals. But I did buy like one of the little watermelons, BFD, right? I bought the one like offshoot. I bought some peppers to mix with my, things. But what I'm trying to get across here is the majority of my budget is on things that like these eggs, The problem with eating these eggs for me now is they're so satiating. I probably won't get hungry until 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. It's like, 11:30. So 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, I'm gonna be going, now I'm starting to get a little hungry. Should I eat or just go to bed? Right? So if I don't remember to eat something around 4, I'll probably just wait till tomorrow morning for breakfast. That's the only problem with having a snack. But eating food that is satiating is really the key to what I found. And I think I've rambled on too much. But think about it, try it, and I'm telling you, it really unlocked a lot of money in my budget by just learning to only eat what I cook, only cook when I'm hungry, and no snacks, no crackers, no chips. I mean, if I want the fastest snack I have is a can of anchovies. And I love anchovies, but not by themselves. So what are you gonna do, right? And I used to hate anchovies, but I learned to love them because they're super, now they're not the healthiest thing, but they're better than a lot of other options out there, right? Just get them without the soy oil and all that shit. Always in water or fish oil or something like that. Even like the avocado mayonnaise, I looked at like half a dozen brands, and you pick it up and the first, it says avocado mayonnaise, organic avocado mayonnaise, right? You pick it up, the first ingredient, soybean oil. You're like, what the fuck? So just stay away from that shit. It's funny, I was just watching this podcast, and there was a lady doctor, Stanford doc, and she was talking about the effects of, because soy mimics estrogen, right? So she was talking about the effects of women getting too much estrogen mimicking chemicals in their system and how much it affects them negatively as well as men. We've known for a while that estrogen mimicking effects on men is a bad thing, right? But it was interesting. She was talking about, for just a second, about how it's, has a very detrimental effect on women as well. So control your appetite, control your cravings, controls your budget, gives you money to travel. Just saying, it's not hard. It just takes time and a little diligence. And the salted egg. Typical iPhone keeps cutting out, but the deviled egg, the hard-boiled egg with salt, hard-boiled egg with some dressing, it's an easy, quick way to go and makes you feel satiated. Add an apple, add some cheese. It's a quick, simple meal without, breaking the bank and without, breaking the waistline. So that's what I got. Control your budget. And the bottom line is all these things are super cheap, especially when you're on the road. Easy to find, easy to do, and they're cheap. Take care.